this is going to be your guide to using Calyrex in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Don't use it. This Pokemon is horrible. Psychic Grass, horrible. Those stats, horrible. This Pokemon is actually just a worse Celebi. The only thing Calyrex is good for is funneling stats and moves into Glastrier and Spectrier, and that is what this video is about, because holy moly, what are those stats? Like, I already thought that Glastrier was out of control as one of the most insane stat distributions we've ever seen in a Pokemon. Same thing for Spectrier. And Calyrex gives all of their non-hit point stats plus 20. So that is where this legendary Pokemon ends up at. Still 680 base stat total, but that feels much stronger than any 680 base stat total legendary we've ever seen. Like, 165 on the attack, 150 defense, 130 special defense, and 100 hit points. Like, once again, no wasted stats here. Even adding 20 to the special attack and 20 to the speed makes it one of the most optimized Pokemon we have ever seen. And then when we get into Spectrier, I mean, Spectrier is already kinda tanky. 160-80 means you survive some pretty powerful hits sometimes. It's also not super effective. This just makes Spectrier tankier, so it gets to survive an extra hit and then take off even harder. Also, 150 speed, 165 special attack. These stats are supremely unacceptable, but the only thing holding back Spectrier was its moveset. Now you might have noticed, wait, Giga Drain? Draining Kiss? They're not allowed to give Spectrier an actual moveset. Well, the thing is, Calyrex contributes its moveset to the Pokemon it's riding. So now we could take Calyrex's moveset and just put it wherever we want. Now the only thing remotely fair about these Pokemon is that Game Freak did not give Calyrex Recover or Synthesis, despite it being a Grass Psychic typing. So yeah, imagine Glastrier, just Glastrier as it is, not the tankier Glastrier that it becomes, with Recover. That would be beyond absurd, but we don't have to worry about any of that. Also, we can go and take a look at the weaknesses and stuff. The Psychic typing held by these Pokemon does contribute to some interesting weakness stuff. Like, we got Psychic Ghost. Well, that's going to be 4 times weak to Ghost, 4 times weak to Dark. Can't really handle too many of those moves, any of them. But then we have immunities, resistances, everything else is neutral. So that's a pretty good place to be. Now, Ice Rider Calyrex, Rock, Bug, Ghost, Steel, Fire, Dark. So it's Ice type, but more weaknesses because of the Psychic minus Fighting. And then resistant to Psychic and Ice. I think the Pokemon's so tanky and has such absurd stats that it can survive this and kind of not care depending on the setup or depending on the situation. Like, it's going to blow up the opposing Pokemon, so that's really all that matters. And then Calyrex, this is why Grass Psychic is horrible. It's just one of the most vulnerable typings in the entire game. And then we can hop back over to Pokemon Showdown and go over what I was talking about. So yeah, this is pretty much all you need for the Shadow Rider Calyrex. Wise Glasses is my item choice because I just want to keep augmenting everything. Your Nasty Plot, your Astral Barrage. Astral Barrage is just a much stronger Shadow Ball. 120 power. So you're doing way more damage than a Shadow Ball, and you're just getting that damage multiplied with the Nasty Plot, with the Grim Neigh, because the ability is as one. We talked about this. It's a combination of Unnerve and Grim Neigh. It has weird interactions because Unnerve is not that great of an ability, but I feel like with another ability, it's actually really strong because now they don't get to Lumberry. Now they don't get to Citrus Berry. Lumberry means you can actually open up this moveset in a really interesting way. You can Will-O-Wisp, just outspeed a physical Pokemon, hit him with the Will-O-Wisp, well now you're taking less damage, and that Pokemon is just kind of hindered, and then you can Calm Mind. Calm Mind makes you have more special defense. So you can do that, and again, like the Will-O-Wisp means they don't get to Lumberry. If you're going up against a heavy tank Pokemon, they survive a +1 Astral Barrage, well now they don't get to Citrus Berry, and now you can Astral Barrage again, and now you kill them, and then you get your Grim Neigh. So yeah, I've always felt Unnerve is a good ability, but every Pokemon with Unnerve, you just want to run the other ability because it's much better, but Unnerve is still good. So with a moveset like this, I would expect a Citrus Berry myself. Now, don't get unnerved against by other Pokemon, but Citrus Berry on this feels really good because you Will-O-Wisp, you eat the hit. I think even at this range, you might not even lose half your health, but if you do, you're probably losing like 60% of your health. Citrus Berry activates, you can eat another hit like that, and then you're still setting up. So Calm Mind against special attackers, +1/+2. Will-O-Wisp, same thing. You just kind of use that, Calm Mind, and then you just start going for the KOs, and then you start scaling ridiculously with your Grim Neigh. And then at +2 or +3, your Draining Kiss is going to be dealing a lot of damage and healing a lot of damage, or Astral Barrage just for the one-shots as they happen. So, like, you have some trading potential on damage, you have Sustain, and then you also just get to lock. Like, this Pokemon has everything. Actually, I just realized how absurd this moveset is, because it describes everything that can happen in Pokemon. You can trade, you can sustain, you can one-hit KO, you can set up, you can status the opponent, and you can reduce the opponent's damage. This does it all as you need it, and then you just go and win. Also, type coverage calculator. Let's go and check out what happens if we go Ghost and Fairy. Ghost and Fairy? That's excellent. Like, Ghost Fairy, that's just the key to super effective greatness, perfect coverage. And then we can go back to the other moveset. So, hop back over there. We had Giga Drain on it. And yeah, it's everything but Pyroar. Who uses Pyroar? I don't think that matters. I'm still okay with hitting Pyroar for neutral because I'm such an absurd Pokemon. It's actually kind of funny because Pyroar, you can't Will-O-Wisp it to lower damage. And then I think it has like Crunch or something. So Pyroar is actually the strongest Pokemon for this. But on that, it's like, yeah, that's still quite good. So yeah, you have nothing to worry about as the Shadow Rider Calyrex because of the moveset lending. It's super ridiculous. It's gonna be pretty obvious. Timid nature, max speed, max special attack. Just be broken. That's kind of it. Just be broken. And then we get to the Glastrier form, and it gets its own trick room. When you look at stats like these, you immediately think, okay, this Pokemon is busted in Trick Room, and you can probably do a lot of cool things in doubles. Like, people are already doing cool things in doubles with just regular, legal Glastrier. Now, these forms are only used in, like, restricted Pokemon formats, so they're just really out of control. But because of Calyrex, it can bring its own Trick Room, so very singles Trick Room viable, and then it just takes off. You then have speed, you're faster than the opponent, you hit him with a Glacial Lance, that's going to KO, and then now you're even stronger, and then you have coverage for everything else. Let's go and plug this in, even though I'm pretty sure you guys know where this is going. Ground, Dark, Ice. Oh, and it's perfect. Oh, and we have more super effective hits. So yeah, we're just killing everything. That's a good way of looking at it. And then when it comes to item choices, I feel like these Pokemon are just so broken, you can go with the same thing. Muscle Band is going to take your absurdly high attack and then your absurdly high move. Like, Game Freak, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to have a 100% accurate move with 130 power. Hits adjacent foes, so it technically, like, loses damage in doubles. But I mean, in singles, you just slap that thing. And then with a Grim Neigh, I can't imagine anything that survives that neutrally. So Muscle Band, just throw more stats onto it. Now, you can run Life Orb on both of these Pokemon. I just don't like the idea of setting up and then Life Orb. You know, Nasty Plot, taking a hit, Life Orb, then you're worrying about the Life Orb burn. Trick Room, you take a hit, Trick Room activates, then you're worrying about the Life Orb burn. Like, I don't want that to be an issue in the game, and I think Muscle Band just kind of finds all the same KOs or something like that. Now, if you're experiencing this Pokemon, and you're playing with it, and you're like 5% of the opponent's health every time, yeah, maybe get rid of the Muscle Band. You can put in Never Melt Ice, or you can just go for the Life Orb if you feel like you're comfortable enough on the health side of things, but not doing enough on damage. But I don't imagine that scenario. Maybe you need it because now we're dealing with other legendary Pokemon, and that's kind of what skews it. But even for restricted Pokemon format, these are like the most optimized stats ever. And you're still really, really tanky. It's like you're able to beat legendary Pokemon in pretty much every game. If they want to be tankier than you, well, you're still really tanky and you have more damage. If they want to do more damage than you, well, you're also still really tanky. So you're going to find a way of setting up on both of these Pokemon. And then what's going to survive a +2 Astral Barrage with Wise Glasses? Nothing. At 165 special attack. I don't care if you have legendary stats. You don't survive that. Now, what about all tank Glastrier? And I don't even know what the meta is inside of the legendary format, so let's look at something like this. Go max hit points, max special defense, impish nature. Like, we're still Glastrier. If we wanted to, we can go for the Iron Defense. Wait, we have to make sure we have the Calyrex form. So Iron Defense, it's busted. For my base Glastrier moveset, I gave it Chesto Resto because this Pokemon doesn't have sustain otherwise. But now, like, do we get away with it? Like, Leech Seed, Leftovers. Do we need much else at this point? Because we're going to be getting 3/16 of our health back every turn. Like, I don't know. Do we just go Iron Defense, Protect, and then Avalanche? Like, the weird thing is, Avalanche has much more PP, and it does a lot of damage. So while the Lance is cool, it's barely any more damage than Avalanche, except you do get to go first. But on like a tanky set, you can kind of do a lot of nasty things. I don't know if this is the correct way of running the ice form when you have like all of this other crazy stuff, but you do have to pay attention to the moveset changes. Maybe you don't even need Protect. Maybe you can just go and find one of these other moves that's going to be really strong on it. You have access to the high horsepower, so if you Dynamax, you're getting +3 special defense, potentially, and then whatever you're getting from your iron defense, Leech Seed leftovers on a tanky Glastrier, because Glastrier is already one of the tankiest Pokemon I've ever seen. Also, I misclicked and put 252 speed instead of 252 special defense. It is already one of the tankiest Pokemon I've ever seen, and you just get absurd with it. And if you use 3 high horsepowers, that's probably a KO anyways, so on bonus health, and all kinds of other crazy things. If you get the Leech Seed down, you can also use that as a protect turn near the end. You know, your Dynamax, you get 2 high horsepowers, depending on the game state, just protected iron defense, so it becomes max guard, and then you get that health back as you transition into a KO on horsepower, avalanche. Now you're +2 special defense, healing up pretty well, +2 from the iron defense, and then just do whatever you want with this Pokemon. Or, is Glastrier so tanky, you get to Calm Mind Iron Defense. You're only using that Calm Mind for the special defense, not the special attack, but I don't think it matters, because once you start getting those avalanches going, yeah, you just need a KO, and then you're +1, and then you're already insane. Like, you get more from a +1 than you do from 252 EVs, by a lot. Wow, like look at that, you get less than 20% of your attack by just putting in EVs. Like, EVs don't even matter on this Pokemon too much, unless you're trying to go for like the instant always KOs. Like, the reason why you max it out, so Muscle Band, Trick Room, Glacial Lance, KO something immediately. Now if you're finding that it doesn't KO, maybe you can get away with some bulk. This Pokemon is absurd. So we look at something like that, it's like, yeah, we can still get away with this, we can get specially tanky so we don't have to waste our Dynamax for it, and anything could go here. Like, Life Dew feels not good, but also like the sustain we maybe need. Life Dew with leftovers is not half our health, but it's 5/16. That's a good amount. I'm wondering, can the opponent even do a quarter or, 5/16 of our health once we have 2 iron defenses, 2 Calm Minds? If it gets to that point where they're only doing like 20%, we're still coming up health positive on Life Dew leftovers, which means we just slow win the game out. Avalanche, Life Dew, Avalanche, Life Dew, Avalanche, Grimnay activates, whatever it's happening, and then just gets to the point where it's like, okay, Avalanche KO, Avalanche KO, Avalanche KO, we win. So, there's a lot of weird stuff. But maybe that's also the set that you can kind of pick apart from Glacier being broken and Calyrex only being usable as a moveset, or you just don't play those. Like, there's 2 kinds of ways you can approach this Pokemon. You can play games, you can get really cute with it, and then like try to disrupt your opponent while setting up a bit, or you just do 1 turn of setup and then instantly take over the game. This Pokemon scares me. This is why I don't play restricted formats. I didn't play before, but this is also why I don't play even more now. That is absurd. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.